Giving the community a voice. Haver FM. How Community Radio.
Welcome to another Heeds and Hearts Scotland podcast. Our charity was founded in June 2021 to create, inspire and promote social connections through community arts projects in the How and wider North East Fife.
Hi, thank you for listening. My name is Ian Harrower and I'm the chair of Heeds and Hearts Scotland. We return to the final episode of a series our chum Ben Anderson recorded for us last May during our Haver FM How Community Radio project. Ben returned to his home village of Newburgh, where he wove interviews with local creative people and an awesome playlist. Unfortunately, music copyright issues mean we cannot include these tunes in this podcast. In this final episode, Ben spent some time with local artist Hazel McLeod. Hazel graduated from Edinburgh College of Art and Wimbledon School of Art, specialising in drawing, painting and ceramics.
So we've now reached the point of the show where it is time for the third interview, and next up we have Hazel McLeod. Now she is an artist and potter living and working in Newburgh, and I hope you find this interview really interesting. Okay, so I'm here with Hazel McLeod, an artist, florist and potter originally from Pennycook. She trained at the Edinburgh College of Art for her undergrad and then Wimbledon School of Art for her masters in painting and fine art. So Hazel, you're an artist, potter and florist.
Yeah.
Do you find that all these things complement each other, and are there many crossovers between the three?
Yeah, there's actually lots of crossovers. So an example most recently would be I've started a creative floristry class at the community centre here in Newburgh. So after the first week, we all made really lovely, nice, natural, wild arrangements, and I took mine home and ended up in the studio. And then I decided, actually, I'm going to just paint this because it'll save me thinking what to paint. And I actually really enjoyed painting what was right there in front of me, because a lot of the time I'll paint landscapes and things from when I've been out and about, or I've been up the hills or out on the water. So just painting what was right there in front of me, it was actually, I didn't have to think so much. So I just made myself a wee viewfinder, picked a little bit, so I didn't paint the whole arrangement, I just selected a wee corner. So now I've got several flower paintings, which I hadn't been doing. This is just a sort of new thing that's happened. So yeah, that's an example of a crossover. And even the pottery as well. I do a thing called sgraffito. So that's you kind of get a really sharp tool and you draw into the clay before it's been fired. And I've got underglazes, a whole palette of underglazes, all different colours. So I'll use the pottery almost like a canvas as well. So that's like another overlap. So you'll see, if you look at my work, there's things that you'll see in paintings and then they'll appear on cups. And yeah, there's all sorts of crossovers.
Nice. That's really fascinating. And so can you tell me what it's like to be an artist in Newburgh? How inspired are you by the local area, and how does it feel to be part of this special community?
Yeah, I absolutely love being here in Newburgh. So before I was in Newburgh, I was in a little village called Fruquet, which is it's only about 15 minutes away. And after about 3 years of living there, I only just made a friend who would have like a wee glass of wine together. She was actually an artist as well. And I didn't know anybody else's names in the whole village after 3 years, because I guess it was just people were just going home and closing the door and there was no crossovers. But as soon as I moved to Newburgh, I instantly knew the names of my neighbours behind me, knew the names of the people across the road. That's Appleyard across the road there. And yeah, just everybody was much more chatty. I'd been on the high street, because I'm right on the high street. Yeah, the man just along there was like, oh, hello, I like your pots in the garden and stuff. And it was just straight away striking up conversations with people. Yeah, and it was really nice. And loads of inspiration from around the local area as well, because the Tay is just like a 2-minute walk down Mason Street there. So there's loads of Tay pictures, water pictures, Lochmill, just 5 minutes up the road there. That features in a lot of my work. And the view, you know how you see the Tay snaking into the distance when you're a bit higher up. Yeah, that's another favourite scene, so I've drawn that lots of times.
Nice. And I understand you're a keen paddleboarder.
Yeah.
And like getting out on the Tay. Does the time on the water help to fuel your creativity? And how important to you is it to live so close to the river?
I absolutely love living so close to the river. So I've got to admit this, before I got offered this house here, I'd never been to Newburgh, and I hadn't even really heard of it, because Newburgh is one of these places, unless you're going there, you don't pass it on the way to somewhere else. I think it's because we're right on the edge of the sort of Fife and Perth boundary, maybe.
Yeah.
So I had to Google Newburgh, and then when I looked at the Google map and seen the Tay in the map, I was like, oh my God, we're going to be right by the water. So I was very excited about that. Yeah, so being on the water, I was saying earlier, you kind of just glide along and you see all the sort of colours and the ripples, and especially the sunsets. If you're sort of heading west as the sun's setting down, which I quite often go for a wee sunset paddle.
Nice.
Just all those colours are stunningly beautiful. And Mugdrum Island, absolutely one of my favourites, because you've got the blue water, the sort of yellow grasses of Mugdrum, and then the blue again behind it, and it's just so striking. Nice. So yeah, it features in lots of my work.
Brilliant. And can you just tell us how people can find you locally or online, and if anyone is keen to connect with you, how would they do that?
Yeah, well, this weekend is the Open Studios event, so I've been helping advertise that. We've put wee leaflets and wee posters around. So I'm Venue 31, so people will hopefully in Newburgh and surrounding areas all see my Open Studios sign over the weekend, and people will come in and have a wee nosy. Yeah, and I've got an Instagram page that I tend to post up whatever I'm working on, or even things half finished, just my process. I quite like.
Okay.
When I'm looking at Instagram myself at other artists, I always like seeing little glimpses of their process. So nice. I like seeing palettes and studio shots. So it's not just a sort of gallery of finished works. It's just whatever I'm got going on at the moment.
And what's your handle on?
It's Hazel McLeod Art.
Okay.
And on that you will see my art and ceramics.
Fantastic.
And from my floristry, I've got another one. It's Contorted Hazel.
Okay.
And that's got a lot of my flowers and my floral arrangements.
Nice, cool. And I might have sprung this upon you a little bit, but do you want to choose a song for the show and tell us what it means to you, if you've got one in mind? Yeah,
I would love to. So my absolute favourite band, but you sent me a message saying think about a song. My favourite band at the moment is Wet Leg. And I've been a massive fan ever since I heard their first song, which was Chaise Long.
Okay, oh yeah.
I
know it.
So it was on the radio. I don't know what radio station I had on, and I couldn't get out the car. I was like, what is this song? And I thought it was saying, I'm a chaise long.
Right.
And I was like, that's so random. She's singing this song about being a chaise long. And then I realised it's on the chaise long, which makes much more sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been a massive fan ever since hearing that song. So each time they released a new single, I was getting really excited. So their album just came out about 2 weeks ago. So that's like the artwork. It's the Wet Leg artwork on the wall there. Cool. So I need to get a proper frame. That's just the cellophane, and that's their signatures. People listening won't be able to see, but I always like, this is the artwork from the Wet Leg, and being beside my painting, this is a painting of Leslie House in Glenrothes. And in my head I sit and think, she looks like, because she's got like dark trees behind her in the artwork, it looks like she could be walking up this drive. And I don't know, I quite like those two things being together now. So nice. that makes sense.
Brilliant. Well, Hazel, thank you so much for talking to me.
Yeah.
And hopefully you listen to the show and enjoy it later.
I can't wait to hear it. Yeah.
All right, cheers.
Our thanks to Ben for his incredible effort in putting this series together for us. Thanks and best wishes to Hazel also. You can find more details about Hazel's work on her Facebook page, Hazel-McLeod-Artist. Now, people get to hear about and find podcasts like this one if you share, rate and talk about it. Please follow us on our YouTube channel and Facebook page, And watch out for information on a new project coming soon, and find out how you can become involved in making podcasts about creative and fascinating people in your community.
Mommy, Daddy, look at me. I went to school and I got a degree. All my friends call it the big D. I went to school and I got the big D. 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 I went to school and I got the big D. Is your muffin buttered? Would you like us to assign someone to butter your muffin? Excuse me. What? Excuse me. What? Hey you, over there, on the chaise longue in your underwear. What are you doing sitting down? You should be horizontal now. On the chaise longue, on the chaise longue, on the chaise longue, all day long. On the chaise longue, on the chaise longue, on the chaise longue, on the chaise longue, all day long. On the chaise longue. Is your mother worried? Would you like us to assign someone to worry your mother? Excuse me. What? Excuse me. What? Hey you, in the front row, are you coming backstage after the show? Because I've got a chaise longue in my dressing room and a pack of warm beer that we can consume. On the chaise longue, on the chaise longue, on the chaise longue, all day long. On the chaise longue, on the chaise longue, on the chaise longue, on the chaise.
Haver FM, How Community Radio, is supported by the Fife Communities Mental Health and Wellbeing Fund through Fife Voluntary Action and the Scottish Government.